Hello, good morning and good evening, even good afternoon. Today I'm talking about the American system of education. The topic is that uh, the writer has presented this Aaron spelling A is there, A is missed, Aaron Batty, and he says that public universities are losing expensive, and then Americans are losing access to higher education because they have forgotten what public means. That's why the writer is talking about the good American system of education, how education system is just being changed in America, how it was public in the past and how it is being turned into private at present. Public universities should be free. This is the topic. Americans are losing access to higher education because they have forgotten what public means. Is an essay written by Aaron Barry. This is Aaron, double A. It advocates to make public universities free for the education for all to keep the true meaning of the term public. Because if it is charged and if it is not public and the public universities does not have any meaning of the word public, if it is not free, then there is no difference between the public and private universities. That is the idea of the author. The students should be charged in public universities for their higher education. Should not be charged. There is a K1, not is missed, right? The students should not be charged. This please aid not. Students should not be charged in public universities for their higher education. Public universities should be like the business. Oh, should not be, right? There is a word, should not be, not is a chemist. Public universities should not be like any business organization, and it should not be only for foreign students to enroll with high charge as tuition fees. That is okay. Should not be like business organization. Students should not be charged, and it must be free to all the students in America. That is the idea. The writer compares and contrasts. There is also S. S is missing. Compares and contrast. Please S. Add the S as the verb as contrast the public and private universities with the public routes and the toll roads. The public routes in public routes anyone can drive their vehicles freely, but in toll roads only those who can afford can drive their vehicles. So the public universities should be like a public roads but not like of the toll roads. This is very good analogy comparison the writer has brought. The public universities should increase their classrooms more and more like the public roads for the Americans to get the easy access in the universities. That is the idea of the writer. If it is done so, then only the term public becomes real and meaningful as the original goal of the universities. Public universities are the public property of the entire state. They are not private property. And the public universities would be more accurately described as the state-controlled private universities at present. So, the public universities have been so fundamentally privatized over the last 40 years. In the past, it was not public. It was not private. It was public. It was just free to all, free access to all. That government of California had made the plan that Californians must have the freedom to study in the public university, but now the Californians are not getting opportunity to study in the public universities freely and easily because foreign students are admitted with a fee, and even other students out of California states are brought there. It has advocated that public universities should be free even to make the real sense of public. If an education is available only to those who can afford it, if education is a commodity to be purchased in the marketplace, it cannot be called public. So, it is not the only for the rich. It is not for a commodity to be purchased to be public universities. A university that thinks and behaves like a private sector corporation, charging its consumers what the market will bear, cutting cost wherever it can, and using competition with its peer is a public university in a name only. It is not a public, it is public only in the name. Otherwise, it is completely private activities dominated public universities. A better way to compare a public and private university would be to consider the difference between public roads and the toll roads. Some toll roads are owned and operated by state governments, and some by private sectors. The important thing is whether the road is free and open to all, or whether it can be used only by those who can afford to drive on it. Right? It means whether the public university is free for all and open to all, or it is only for those who can afford and who can pay the fee in it. That is the idea of the question of the writer. The same is true for public and private universities. And the university is public only if those who need to use it can do so. When there is not, there is a misword. There are not enough classrooms. The state no longer builds new universities, but students are charged more, and if it is judged from by that original standard, there are few public universities left. Right? Public universities are not found, they are not left there, because only government or the states does not make more buildings, more classrooms for the high demand of the students. What the government does is only, or that universities do, is charging high fee to the students. And charging fee means almost making the universities not as public but as private. The state is the voice for the public who cannot afford for higher education. Right? Education system should not be like business, and it should be easy, cheap, and affordable for all, is the voice of the essay. The public universities must be similar to the public roads, where anyone and any large number of people can use it freely. But it must not be like the private roads, where only few people can use it. This is how the writer has brought the voice for the poor people, helpless people who are not able to get the facilities for the study in public universities. The government must construct the new infrastructures for the larger number of students, and the true meaning of the term public is to be maintained in real sense. Otherwise, the public universities would remain public only in names, but not in practice for the support of the public in the United States. That is the concept of the writer Aaron Barry. The history of public schooling in the United States is the official funding of the country. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the public universities got established like the University of Georgia and the University of North Carolina. Institutions started training students in the 19th century and have developed into community college systems that now educates more than 7 million students in a year. So, this sort of large students giving education system in America should be public, not only private, and the government must spend the money. The writer somebody had said in the essay, American government is ready to spend the large number of military to fight in the world, to make war in the world. And why American government is not able to spend or invest large amount for the construction, for the facility of the public universities for the students? That is the idea of the writer. The Moreland Grand Acts in 1862 got the opportunity of opening the universities, federal funded throughout the United States, such as Kansas State University, Michigan State University, Pennsylvania State University, as well as public junior college and normal schools. All the public universities must be free and easy to access for all who has greats and ambition to gain higher education. Is the voice of the writer. That is what his concern. His concern is the concern of making the public university a real public in name, public in practice, not only in the name. Many universities are just public in the name, but the activities are private because they are charging high. They are raising the money for the construction, for the fulfillment of the needs of the universities from the students. They are charging high tuition fees. They are getting enrollment of the international students, and the local poor students are not getting opportunity to study in the public universities. So all public universities of the United States have been turned, most of them have been turned into private activities, like private activities, except Harvard University and some of the universities the writer has presented in the essay. So it is very meaningful and useful idea for the need and voice of the poor people in America to study further, to have a further education in public universities. I would like to talk a little bit in Nepali even for the Sanskrit students. You निबन्धमा पब्लिक युनिभर्सिटी पब्लिक एजुकेसन स्वतन्त्र हुनुपर्छ, फ्री हुनुपर्छ, अमेरिकनहरूले हायर एजुकेसन पढ्न पाएनन् भन्नेमा राइटरले के भनेका छन् भने शिक्षालाई व्यापार जस्तो जाँच्नु भएन, शिक्षाले अर्गनाइजेसन जस्तो हुनु भएन, व्यापार वस्तु किनबेच जस्तो बजारमा किनबेच गरे जस्तो शिक्षा दिनु भएन। कुनै पनि विद्यार्थी, कुनै पनि गरिब विद्यार्थीले, गरिब स्टुडेन्टले आफ्नो क्वालिटी लिएको छ, आफ्नो ग्रेड लिएको छ, आफ्नो पास गरेको छ, एडमिसन हुने हायर स्कुलमा जाने पास गरेको छ र इच्छा राख्छ, एम्बिसन राख्छ, लक्ष्य राख्छ भने उसलाई पढ्नको लागि फ्री हुनु पर्यो। पब्लिक भनेको सार्वजनिक हो, सार्वजनिक विश्वविद्यालय भनेको राज्यले कन्ट्रोल गर्ने हो, राज्यले बनाउने हो, राज्यले धेरैभन्दा धेरै बिल्डिङहरू बनाएर, इन्स्टिट्युसनहरू बनाएर, युनिभर्सिटीहरू बनाएर, क्लासरुमहरू बनाउनुको सट्टा पैसा चाहिँ विद्यार्थीलाई चार्ज गरेर विद्यार्थी घटाउनु चाहिँ राम्रो होइन। जति विद्यार्थीको माग छ, डिमान्ड छ, त्यो डिमान्ड अनुसार क्लासरुम बढाउनु पर्यो, युनिभर्सिटी बढाउनु पर्यो र अमेरिकनहरूलाई पढ्नबाट वञ्चित गराउनु भएन। अमेरिकाले संसारमा सबभन्दा ठुलो लगानी युद्धमा, मिलिटरीमा, आर्मीमा गरेर संसारको युद्ध गर्न चाहिँ सक्ने, तर राज्यको यो पब्लिक युनिभर्सिटीमा चाहिँ किन यसरी लगानी गरेर युनिभर्सिटी बनाउने, कक्षा कोठाहरू बनाएर सबैलाई पढ्न सक्ने पब्लिकै किन नबनाएको, किन नाम मात्रको पब्लिक बनाइँदैछ, किन अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय विद्यार्थीहरूलाई ल्याएर पैसा उठाइँदैछ, किन यहाँका धनी पैसा खर्च गर्नेले मात्रै गरिँदैछ, पढाइँदैछ र अरूले किन पढाउन पाइँदै छैन। यो के पब्लिक हो त? यसको बनाउने कालमा चाहिँ पहिला 1862 मा चाहिँ जब ग्रान्ड युनिभर्सिटिजहरू खोल्न थाले, फेडरल युनिभर्सिटीहरू खोल्न थाले, सबै राज्यको सम्पत्ति हो त्यो युनिभर्सिटी भनेको, जहाँ 70 लाख भन्दा बढी वर्षमा गएको स्टुडेन्टहरूलाई पढाइन्छ। 19 सेन्चुरीदेखि यसरी आएको कम्युनिटी कलेज सिस्टममा आएको चाहिँ अहिले किन यो प्राइभेट जस्तो भयो त? यो त पब्लिक रोड र अनि टोल रोड भनेको प्राइभेट रोड जस्तो हो नि। प्राइभेट रोडमा गाडी चलाउँदाखेरि धनीहरूले मात्रै पैसा तिर्न सक्नेहरूले मात्रै कुदाउन पाउँछन्, तर पब्लिकमा सबै पैसा तिर्न नतिर्ने सबैले कुदाउन पाइन्छ गाडी। जस्तै अहिलेको फास्ट ट्र्याकमा कुनै पनि प्राइभेट व्यक्तिले गाडी कुदाउनु पर्यो भने जाँदाको कति पैसा तिर्ने, आउँदाको कति पैसा तिर्ने भनेर त्यसको फिक्स गरिएको छ। हो यस्ता गभर्मेन्टले बनाउने र प्राइभेटहरूले बनाउने त्यस्ता टोल रोड्सहरूमा चाहिँ यो चाहिँ पब्लिक खालको भएन, प्राइभेट खालको हो। यस्तो खालको प्राइभेट युनिभर्सिटी चाहिँ हुनु भएन, पब्लिक युनिभर्सिटी हुनु भएन। बाटो चाहिँ गभर्मेन्टले बनाएको छ फास्ट ट्र्याक, पैसा जाँदाखेरि पैसा तिर्नुपर्छ, आउँदा पनि पैसा तिर्नुपर्छ कुनै पनि व्यक्तिले गाडी कुदाए बापत। त्यस्तै खालको युनिभर्सिटी चाहिँ गभर्मेन्टले बनाएको छ, अनि त्यो युनिभर्सिटी चाहिँ पब्लिक छ, नाम पब्लिक छ, तर पढ्न चाहिँ के त व्यक्तिले गएर पैसा तिर्नु पर्यो, ट्युसन फी तिर्नु पर्यो, प्राइभेट जस्तो भयो, त्यो टोल रोड जस्तो भएर चाहिँ धनीले मात्रै पढ्न पाउने भए, गरिबले पढ्न पाउने भएनन्। अमेरिकनहरूले लुज गरे हायर एजुकेसन, यो ठिक भएन भनेर राइटरले समग्र गरिबहरूको भोइसलाई, आवाजलाई उठाएर वास्तवमा पब्लिकको अर्थ पब्लिकै जस्तो राख्नु पर्यो, यसलाई हेर्दा नाम चाहिँ पब्लिक, काम चाहिँ प्राइभेट जस्तो गर्नु भएन भनेर राइटरले बिटर तरिकाले, तितो तरिकाले त्यहाँ भएको सिस्टम, अमेरिकन एजुकेसन सिस्टमलाई आक्रमण गरेको देखिन्छ। अनि राइटरले वास्तवमा गरिबहरूको भोइसलाई अगाडि बढाएको देखिन्छ। In short, the writer has raised the voice for the poor people in America for further education. And writer says that there are public universities, and universities are almost compared and contrasted with the public roads and the toll roads. In toll roads, only those people can ride their vehicles who are able to afford. In public roads, people, anyone with freely can ride their vehicles. Only people have to buy their cars and then spend the gas. And road is provided by the government free. So in the same way, the public university also should be provided by the government freely, and only paper copy and other necessary things students can buy and go and study in public universities. Otherwise, the public universities are only public in the name. In reality, they are private in activities. They are charging tuition fee to the students, and poor people cannot pay. Only affordable people can study there in public universities. And the real goal of public, real meaning standard of public, what it was thought in the beginning of the establishment of the university, has been lost. So this, instead of charging more money, more tuition fees to the students and having international students there, government must construct more universities, must make classrooms, and must be free, cheap, easy to study for almost all levels of people for their higher education, is the principal concept of the writer, and it is really appreciative for the from the point of view of the poor in America. Thank you.